All right, continuing on with the discussion of motion graphs, I'm hoping that this sheet will kind of help you understand both graphs kind of together, because like I said, I think the most difficult thing for people is being able to switch back and forth efficiently between the two. Sometimes you get stuck on this graph because the key to this graph is the slope. And a lot of people get stuck thinking about slope, and then they inadvertently begin to think about slope on this graph when they really should be thinking about the y value. Or vice versa, they start thinking about the y value and they get stuck, and then they can't flip back when they need to think about slope on this one. So that's what the practice is going to be. So I want this sheet to be sort of like a cheat sheet, I guess, for you, and a help to understand what's going on. So notice that on the left-hand side is all position versus time graphs. The right-hand side is all velocity versus time. And down the middle it says how to tell if velocity is. And there's three things we're going to talk about with the velocity. If you know these three things, you know what's going on, how the object is moving. So how to tell if the velocity is negative or positive. That's the direction of the velocity. How to tell if the velocity is increasing, decreasing, or constant, staying the same. And you might want to write that this basically means speeding up. This basically means slowing down, and of course constant speed is constant speed. You might also want to write these two words in here. So this is speeding up, this one is slowing down, right? Speeding up, slowing down. Same thing over here, speeding up, slowing down. You might want to write that just to help yourself remember what increasing velocity, decreasing velocity means. It seems obvious, and it may be, but some people have a hard time. That's the second thing we're going to tell about velocity. And then the third thing, how to tell if velocity is zero, how to tell if there's no motion going on. So for this video, I just want to do this top one, position versus time compared to velocity versus time, how to tell if the object is moving in a positive or negative direction. On a position versus time graph, every single one of our answers on this side is going to be, they're going to be in terms of slope. So to figure out direction on a position versus time graph, I'm looking at whether there is a positive or negative slope. So draw a graph right here, and let's draw this line. Draw this motion. So positive and negative slope, you could have this graph and it would say during which intervals is this object moving in a positive direction. Well, I'm just looking for the positive slopes, completely regardless of the y value. That's this one and this one. Both of those slopes are positive. Notice that's a positive y value, that's a negative y value, but it doesn't matter. Y value doesn't matter on this graph. When is the object moving in a negative direction? That's during this middle portion right here. During the entire portion, even when it crosses the x-axis, again, y value doesn't matter. On the velocity time graph, instead of slope, we're looking for positive versus negative y value. And we talked about that on the front. We knew that everything up above, regardless of the slope or what the line looks like, is moving in a positive, not negative, direction. And everything down below, moving in a negative direction. All right, so that's how to look at direction of motion.